boy, oh boy. If you have not seen this video yet, it is, oof.
Yeah, I like to watch it side by side with her calling Elon Musk dumb.
Yeah.
It's great.
The U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is a,
okay.
This is, of course, a very long-standing policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
All right. So now here's our big problem. Right now, whoever's asking a question goes, I don't know what that was, but anyway, I asked you if we should commit to moving troops to defend Taiwan.
Yeah.
So can we get an answer to that question? Mm-hmm. They go, oh, okay. And then they move on, and they let these fucking imbeciles off the hook.
Yeah, no follow-ups. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, she's a dope, everybody, but she has a lot of what I like to call personal momentum, and dumb people respond to other people with personal momentum. It's essentially DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled is a talentless lump of shit who can't play an instrument or do anything, but I talked to a lot of people like, I like that dude. You like that dude because he's a talentless sack of shit who has momentum, and you respond to the momentum. And people respond to momentum, but only dumb people. Smart people see it, and I see DJ Khaled D-box Bob Marley's guitar and bang on it like a chimp trying to fuck a football. And I go, this guy's a talentless piece of shit. Yeah. And then I see Julius and the Baja Marimba Band, and I go, oh, these fucking guys know how to play instruments. Yeah. And there's a difference to me. Yep. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about because she's a dope, but she has personal momentum. Listen, everybody. 3 years ago, I said on Sean Hannity's show, if she was 60 and fat and from Minnesota, no one would listen to a fucking word she ever had to say again. And everyone looked at me and went, what's that supposed to mean? You want to listen to the tape? You tell me what it means. It means exactly what I said. It caused a kerfuffle, and I got interviewed after it, and people go, what do you mean by that? Okay, let's break it down. She was fat and middle-aged and from Minnesota. No one would listen to a word because she's a dope. Yeah. And everyone was like, so what do you mean? Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. Is there any more... Is there any more evidence that we shouldn't listen to this person because she's a fucking dope, but it's not her fault. It's the people who listen to her's fault.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're talking about other people that nobody would listen to her, no, you're right. The other fat 60-year-old chicks from Minnesota definitely would listen to her. Right. And you're right. Yeah. The DJ Khaled thing, that dude definitely been on a couple of Super Bowl halftime shows, aforementioned, but definitely not the Baja Marimba Band. No. It's going to take me a second to get it right.
It's either Marimba. I think it's Marimba.
Marimba.
It is Marimba.
Okay.
But you want to say Marinda.
Yeah, right.
Like you're a retarded guy trying to say Melinda.
Marinda is a city in the Bay Area, by the way.
Oh.
Okay.
Coming in the back door was the Baja Marimba's band. Biggest hit.
Wow. Coming in the back door. Oh, that fucking did another shot at tequila when that guy came up with that idea.
Yeah.
And that's what they told the chicks on the road. You know what I'm famous for. Do we have that in that song?
Somebody make sure that's on the playlist next time my girlfriend's in town.
Coming in the
that's
back.
going to the sound guys and going, whatever you do, don't put Linda in the main mix, okay?
That's right.
Don't put Jim in the main mix, all right? There's going to be 18,000 out there.
That's right. Pot him down. All right, that's their hit. Did they have another anything else that made the charts? Look, you could do a lot worse than the Baja Marimba Band.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, and I heard it the other day.
They did a cover of Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Oh, wow.
Which was their second biggest hit.
Wow. Somebody doing the whip? There's a whip in that song, isn't there? They got a whip in that song?
I think it was your dad, actually.
Played the whip.
Played the whip. Funny.
All right. Give me another story, and then we'll do Ghost Riders.
Okay, here we go. Outrage after Florida Teachers Union says children protesting ICE is now required. The latest efforts to push a far-left agenda are unfolding in anti-ICE rhetoric and demonstrations taking place at schools across the country, spurred by teachers and administrators.
Yeah, so anyway, first, fuck everyone who got on me for calling teachers cowards and pussies and liars and cheats and all that shit all during COVID. Teachers turned out to be the fucking worst. Look, it's a group. It attracts a group. It attracts a type. Okay, let me say. If you said, look, Adam, there's one of these guys who, and I go, I want you to talk politics with him or just kind of talk life or how to raise a boy or whatever that is. He's a tuna boat captain. I'd go, okay, that guy speak the same language. Sure. I'll tell you that guy, I know how that guy thinks because he is out in the Bering Straits with 30-foot swells. I know how that guy thinks. It attracts a certain kind of guy, and I like that guy.
Yeah.
This attracts a different kind of person, and I don't like that person. And they can't stop. And I've said it a lot, but I just mean there is no such thing as a chick just going, I'm vegan, but you eat whatever you want. At a certain point, she's got to start getting involved with your diet. And this is a whole bunch of fucking vegans, and their job is just teach you about the Civil War and don't bring up your vegan shit. But they can't because they're a bunch of chicks and dudes who cross their legs tightly. So they're going to let their worldview bleed into your shit. And then the problem is you got a bunch of 12-year-olds who believe them and are getting infected by this shit. And then, of course, when somebody goes, how about school choice and vouchers? They go, no. We don't want you getting away from our fucking crate training that we're providing and poisoning your fucking head over here. We don't want you going across the street to the other school that is not run by us, by like-minded people. And by the way, charter schools and all those schools have a much different mindset than these fucking unionized dickheads. And also, why should they even be able to unionize and then control the government? Our teachers' unions controlled Gavin Newsom, who controlled COVID, who kept the schools closed. Is that what you want? You want Rochelle Walensky, who runs the CDC, saying we should open schools and then have a representative from the union tell her to shut her mouth and walk it back. And then she goes and walks it back because she needs the fucking unions on her side to donate money to the campaign so that they can then do the fucking bidding of the union. Why is that even fair? That's called bribery. So fuck these people.
Yeah.
And let's get the fucking charter schools together. And by the way, real simple question for somebody. You can ask them two simple questions. Should people be able to find their own ID to vote? And should there be school choice? And if they say no to both those, you can go, fuck you. You're not intellectually honest. Yeah. You're bought and paid for.
Absolutely.
There's no fucking reason in the world why kids shouldn't have school choice. And only thing is these guys, they're big fucking bloated union bullshit. Fucking heroes, my ass. They're almost as bad as nurses. School teachers and nurses. The worst people on the planet. All right, sorry. Let's listen to this dickhead.
So when Florida students are confronted with videos of ICE raids, of families being torn apart, and of Americans being murdered for using their constitutional right.
They don't have to be confronted with videos. They can just watch Dora the Explorer or something, or porn.
Yeah. How about a video on, I don't know, DNA strands, anything else, because you're at school learning, not talking about ICE.
They're confronted with these videos, so now they got to respond.
Rates of families being torn apart and of Americans being murdered for using their constitutional rights, they respond.
Right, are running people over the van.
They organize, they speak out, and they do what American students have always done in moments of injustice. They stand together and demand safety for their peers, their families, and themselves. And that response, while framed by some politicians as radical, is rather reasonable. It's rational, and in a moment like this, it is required.
To
any students being told that they do not have the right to speak out or walk out on their campus.
I like the 3 Ks myself.
I want to be clear. This is the United States of America. You do not shed your First Amendment rights when you step foot through the schoolhouse gates.
Set foot.
So when
not step.
Florida students are confronted with videos of ICE raids.
All right. So listen, first off, where was all this when I went to school?
Yeah.
We didn't get a fucking snow day. We didn't get anything. We didn't get Martin Luther King's birthday off. We didn't have COVID. We didn't have fucking jack shit.
Yeah.
Kids now literally don't have to go to school anymore.
Oh, yeah. No, yesterday was President's Day, Tuesday, day off, man. Tuesday also, not going back to school till Wednesday.
This is the thing that vexed me the most in all of stuff. And it made me realize, listen, teachers, everybody's greatest goal is to not go to work and still get paid. That's every human being's goal. It's not probably Elon Musk's goal, but every other person I've ever known. Their plan in life is to figure out a way to not go to work and get paid. Teachers are no different. All they're looking for is fucking reasons to not go to work and get paid. That's all fucking COVID was. And my kids, all the time this happened, and it drove me nuts. As a guy who worked in construction, which is you never got paid. You didn't get paid for a day. You didn't get paid for an hour. If you had to leave 1 hour early on a Thursday to go to the dentist, they just, all right, you worked 39 hours this week. They'd fucking clip that hour right off. And then, all right, now I'm rich, but I still got the same thing. I got to show up to the club. I got to show up to Off the Hook. We got to do 3 shows Saturday night. I'll meet you in the lobby at 4:45 in the morning. There's no escaping. I either show up or I don't get paid. I either write a book or I don't get paid. You don't feel sorry for me, but that's always been my thing. I have to show up or I don't get paid. I would love to come up with a way that I didn't get on a plane and go to Florida, but I still got paid. But there is not that option. Teachers fucking love it. They love it because they love staying home, day drinking during COVID, and they don't give a fuck about the kids and no, they're not heroes. And I know it because every single 3-day weekend was a 4-day weekend for my kids. And I asked all the time, I'd go, you got Friday off? Yeah. All right, well, Monday, right back to, no, we got Monday off. I go, well, wait a minute. We got 3 days. We got a 3-day weekend here. Yeah, we got 3 days, and then Mondays, but not Monday. When they come back from 3 months of summer vacation, they don't come back on Monday. They come back on Tuesday. Why? What job? Dawson, any job that you're aware of where you're off for a week or 3 days or 3 months and you got a date to come back, but that's not Monday. It's not Monday. There's nothing happening on Monday, but it's not Monday. It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why is it Tuesday? Why do you have fucking Monday off when you had a 3-day weekend? You want to know what the answer is? We don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
Oh, but here's the good news. In life, I don't want to go to work, but I'd like to get paid. Okay. But now I got to deal with the person who's paying me, who wants me to come to work because he wants me to finish framing his house or cutting his J-bolts off with a Sawzall or whatever he does. See, now there's a problem. The guy who's framing the house in Malibu, he wants the guys to come in and frame on Monday. They would like to stay home and get paid. He doesn't want to pay him to stay home. He wants his fucking... But now... the guy who's cutting the checks doesn't want to come in either. And the fucking clients, the kids, don't want to come in.
Sure.
So where's the pressure? Is there any pressure at all? And then we're going to put it to a vote. Hey, teachers union. Hey, teachers. Hey, janitors. Hey, administration. Hey, kids. You want to have Monday off and get paid? Yes, we do. Okay. Well, the ayes have it. And that's how they fucking roll. That would not work in any fucking private sector. Bullshit. And these fucking coward pussies are too scared to work in the private sector. They fucking tapped out of life. Yes, we're supposed to call them heroes, like we're supposed to call kids, people who write children's books are heroes. No, they're not. They're fucking hack writers who can't cut it with adults. They can't create entertainment for adults, so they do it for kids because they're not good enough.
Yeah.
There's nobody who's good enough. There's nobody in the fucking Wiggles who could be in Pearl Jam. They don't do it. You're in a fucking kids band because you're not good enough for adults. And you write children's book and you make Dora the Explorer because you can't make Curb Your Enthusiasm. You'd love to make Curb Your Enthusiasm, but you're not good. or you're fucking lazy and you've tapped out of life, and that's why you've chosen your little slice of communism, which is a school. Can't be fired, always get paid, never going to get rich, never be out of a job, no one's going to hassle you, 3 months off, and you'll never fucking work a weekend in your life. Good pussies, you tapped out. And now you're trying to convert a bunch of little kids over to your fucking communist bullshit.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, man, that's going in for rant of the year for sure. It was the 30 for 30 Stuart Scott that just came out recently. I don't know if you guys have seen it at all, but there's a great lesson in there where his daughters, he woke up on Christmas morning and said, hey, I got to go to Cleveland this morning because there's a basketball game. And his daughters were like, what are you talking about? It's Christmas. And he goes, hey, the athletes, they're working. The production crew, they're working. Santa was working last night. Everyone's got to work.
Right.
Just because everybody's supposed to have the day off, that's how you get ahead. It might not be show up early, stay out, stay late. Yes, that is a way to do it. But the days when everybody else is taking off, you put in a little bit of time, and that's how you're going to get further in life. It's a great lesson for everybody.
Yes.
And we're teaching kids that they shouldn't, that it's okay to take time off. You shouldn't be. No wonder why China's going to kick our asses.
COVID. Hey, all pussies, get under the fucking desk and hide for 2 years. Fucking pussies. Yeah.
I worked in radio for most of my life, and I've never gotten a 3-day weekend.
No.
Did you ever get them on Loveline?
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying no, and I'm thinking at the same time.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. No, I don't think we ever got a day off on, Arbor Day or Martin Luther King Day or President's Day.
In fact,
no.
When I did radio in San Diego, I was in complete shock when they told me you're working Christmas Day.
Right.
I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we when I was in construction, we did a half day the day before Christmas. And the party was we're on the tailgate of a guy's truck, and the boss bought a 12-pack of Budweiser. It was a big deal. We sat there and drank at noon.
Yeah.
So here was our time off for Christmas on construction. Half day before Christmas. Christmas Day off, no pay. And then back the following day so we could get paid for that day.
Yeah.
And that was it. So the Baja Marimba Band's follow-up, Liquor in the front, poker in the rear.
Yeah.
Was that the
come in the back door?
Yeah.
All right, but they did riders on the riders. Well, look, a lot of people don't like me making fun of my dad, but he tortured me with that fucking trumpet my entire life.
Yeah.
And listen, I told people I could ride the unicycle. If I carried the unicycle everywhere and brought it over to Christmas parties and had my kids sit around and watch me ride it, at some point they'd get old and they could complain about me and my stupid unicycle everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like it'd be fair. It'd be a fair thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, not enough shame on guys like that. Guys who just like, hey, man, it's like nobody sat down and told them, hey, dude, you're not really good at this. Give us all the break. You enjoy it in the sanctity of your home where we all don't have to sit and listen to it. And then eventually, if you happen to go out and do some open mics and you get a couple of nods your way about, hey, you're getting pretty goddamn good at that, then feel free to pull it out at the Christmas party.
Yeah, people are too encouraging.
Yeah.
And not enough people are told, you're not good at this, and it's annoying people, and no, you're not going to catch on with this band.
My graduation party, it was my grad party. My cousin, who was 2 years younger than me, got up in front of everybody at my graduation party and sang a cappella to prove how great of a singer she was. And as she walked away, one of my uncles was like, basically went over to her mom and said, you got to tell her to knock it off. You got to tell she ain't going anywhere with that voice. And now we just spent 2.5 minutes listening to that Celine Dion song that we're never getting back. And nobody ever told her. And now she's a complete train wreck in northern Minnesota.
Well, here's the thing, everyone. Either someone from the family tells you right away or life tells you slowly over time. All right, I'm going to be in Texas. I don't know if you're going to be there. February 27th, 28th, 2 shows. Rudy's going to be doing stand-up. Someone can tell him he shouldn't be doing stand-up. Walk away, then you're not going to get shot. If you want to pick up a sprinkler key and come charging at me, then you will get shot. But that'll be your decision.
But safe spaces and octagons in Florida, you'd be scot-free, I believe.
I think
Not a lawyer.
I think everybody who's in a car who's being surrounded by a mob, especially if they're beating on the car, is scot-free. I don't think there's a court in the land that will convict these people if you're surrounded by an angry mob. Now, you add the mom part, the female part, or kid in the car, whatever, you're fucking gone. You're gone for free.
Totally.
Yeah. You know, with your mixed martial arts background.
Listen here, man. The mob will get you. I found out the hard way with the Diaz boys one time. Yeah, they'll get you. You know, you gotta no.
What happened with the Diaz boys?
I was trying to get a rematch. The guy, they told me to go in there, and I went in there, and then his whole team jumped me. It was a famous thing. Yeah,
I
fought Nick. I fought Nate. I fought Jake Shields. I fought everybody at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Still alive.
Who was who were you trying to get the rematch with?
Me and Shields never had a rematch. And he saw me off the microphone and was like, "Oh, you want your rematch?" And I was like, "Yeah, give me my rematch, buddy." And pandemonium. In other news, Prince William's billionaire pal Sanjay Kapoor dead at 53. Swallowing a bee during a polo match.
Oh, now are you allergic to bees?
Well,
or is
it actually triggered a heart attack. The billionaire businessman and chairman of global car parts giant Sona Comstar collapsed during a polo match in England on Thursday.
When I was in Florida, it's kind of crazy. I was in Florida doing shows, I don't know, a month and a half ago. And when I was done, there was a really nice lady, and she just came up to me. She was waiting in line, get a book, get a picture. And she just goes, you know, I had a husband of 25 years. We were great. I don't know, sweethearts from college or whatever. 5 years ago, he got stung by a bee, just died. Just boom. Just like one day, good health. Next day,
allergic.
Gone.
Too bad.
I don't know what he was, but he just got stung by a bee, gone. And she said, it's been 5 years. Your podcast got me through it. I listened to it, and I don't think I could have done it without you. And I said, the book's $20. I can sign a titty if you like. And she was real sweet. And I just thought how fast that could happen. Just boom, this soulmate, boom, gone. Just got stung, pow.
Yeah.
That bees do a fair bit of that, I think. Bees do. I'll bet you. Now you got to look it up, Andrew. In the United States, bees kill more people than rattlesnakes.
Oh, yeah.
Kill more people than any kind of commercial airliner situation. Sharks. Bees must kill more people than sharks.
Bears, definitely.
Bears. I know a lot of people, women especially, who will not go into the ocean because of sharks, but will happily go outdoors where the bees are all day, every day.
On account of the period blood.
That's a good, I never thought about
Sharks
that
can
angle.
smell about 3 miles away.
That's what happened to that chicken Jaws at the beginning. So, sad, weird. I don't know if it's he's allergic or he swallowed it or what the cause was.
It caused a heart attack. That's what the Mirror is reporting. Just hours before his death, the Indian-born businessman who had studied in the UK paid tribute to the victims of Thursday's Air India plane crash that claims the lives of 241 people.
That it is kind of weird. I know you like to put a little tinfoil hat on every once in a while.
I do.
Remember, there was that guy who worked for Boeing or something, and then he kept saying, if they find me dead, and then at some point he killed himself in his car or whatever, and he was a whistleblower,
Yeah, like he was getting ready to testify, and then suddenly he just had a change of heart and hung himself in his car.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of... Yeah, I mean, what percentage? Okay.
You're saying that someone shot this bee in this man's mouth to silence him?
No. I don't know. Sam Tripoli said. I don't know. I feel. I
This is a psyop?
I'm trying to think. Is it better to have a drawn out illness and be able to sort of make your peace with your family, or is it better to just be literally on a pony horse with a mallet and just
or just bounce out the 58th floor? Yeah,
right. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Which one do you say? A slow, inevitable death where you're just hugged, surrounded by your family and.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what. one death every 2 years with the sharks out here. What are you comparing it to?
I know. Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of wars going out. We got our fucking ass kicked backing out of Afghanistan, and now we got a budget where there's $800 billion we can't account for, whatever. Like, what? So what are you comparing it to?
Yeah.
I'm saying, yeah, I'll take something different than this.
We've talked about it before, that it seems like anytime that humans are together, a grift comes up. And this is like the ultimate thing. And they have it built into other systems, such as, like, my dad was in the military. They don't keep you at a certain homestead for a good long time, because if you're with all your buddies, you guys might make something up, and then all of a sudden you have a little army within an army, and that's a bad thing. Same thing in prison. They don't let you stay in the same block forever, because then you become really tight friends with people, and then you can make an uprising. Same thing in government. Every once in a while, it seems like we need to hack it all away and then bring up a new, Department of Education. Now let's just get rid of it and make the education department. And it's a new thing.
Yeah, my thing is like this. You got a head coach of an NFL team, and he's gone 2-15 for the last 20 seasons. And then I go, how about we get this other guy to be the coach? And I go, he's never been a head coach before. And I go, yeah, okay. Your guy's 2-15. So I'll take a chance on the guy just coached at the college level.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Department of Defense had 28 reporting entities that had standalone audit, and 9 received an unmodified audit opinion, 1 received a qualified opinion, 15 received disclaimers, and 13 opinions remain pending. So it's just a whole process.
How can you not have this when you have so much money changing hands? But anyway. All right, next story.
Next story, NYC politicians call on Whoopi Goldberg to apologize for saying bakery denied orders over politics.
Yeah.
I looked into this. She suggested on the air that a local bakery declined to make the View Coast a batch of desserts for her birthday because of her political beliefs. What really happened was they had
Well, hold on. Okay. Does she...
I know.
I mean, does she call the bakery and go, hi, this is Whoopi Goldberg from The View? Or do you just go, hey, man, do you have the lady fingers?
No, I think it was Kyle that called over there.
Kyle called Equinox?
Yeah, exactly.
They said they were ready to go? Yeah.
The boiler exploded. Like, they're years old. It's an old, building, and the boiler exploded, and they don't care about the politics.
Jesus Christ.
But
Baker's a shit job.
Isn't it?
Every time I hear about Baker, they're like, well, you got to get in about 3 in the morning and start with the yeast, And I'm like, 3 in the fucking morning? Yeah, Baker's I thought morning radio sucked.
Yeah.
You thought paper route sucked when you were a kid. You thought these were 6 a.m., 5:30, 6, 5, 6. Baker's 2 to 3. That's Dawson. If you were a baker, what percentage of work days would be all-nighters for you?
Ooh, like 80?
80. Like
Probably.
You would be drunk.
Yeah.
You'd smell of booze and cigarettes and roll in there at like 2:15.
Blame it on the yeast.
Yeah, blame it on the fucking yeast.
Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah, that's not hops and barley. That's yeast, bro. Oh, my God. What do you do when you work at this bakery? You go to bed at 6 in the evening every night? Yeah. Fuck, it sucked. What? And it's not like... You do morning radio, at least you get compensated. What are you getting?
You get Baker's dozen.
$19 an hour, getting up at 2 a.m.
I figure that's like the kid's job. You know what I mean? You got the young bucks you wake up at 3 in the morning with the yeast. I'm rolling in about 6:30 to get this bread in the oven.
Even rolling in at 6:30. I don't know. I'd be a shit baker.
Some people love the bread, bud.
Listen, I would be a shitty baker, but I'd be a shitty butcher too, because I see him with the bandsaw going through the ribs and stuff. But I'd be a kick-ass candlestick maker. The butcher, no good. The baker, no good. But the candlestick maker, I would excel.
Yeah.
I'd be doing sand castings and pouring.
Multicolored?
I'd be smelting metals, and making candle, or I could do wood ones on a lathe.
Braiding rope for wick. It's just a constant and everyday job.
I'm only making the candlesticks. I'm not a candle maker.
Oh, I get it.
You understand? I'm a candlesticks. I don't do the candles. So I don't do butchers. The butcher. I'd be a bad butcher, because I'd also be a bad butcher when they go in, like, give me 1 pound of veal, and then you got to figure out how much 1 pound of veal is, and then you'd set it up there, and it'd be 1.3 ounces, and I'd just go, just fucking eat the veal. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, let me take a small piece off and get it down to 1 pound.
But yeah,
and I wouldn't be good with the bandsaw and the guts and the blood and everything.
Little like turkey carving knife, that.
I wouldn't like to slice the deli meat on the wheel
and like go back a step where you're in the back with just hanging corpses.
I'd also eat a lot of the deli meat. You know what I mean?
Yep, just straight palm it on.
Yeah, and also I feel like it wouldn't be a judgment-free zone for me. Like I'd be back there, and the guy'd order like 1 pound of smoked turkey. And I'd go, oh, okay. And I'd be making him the smoked turkey, and I'd look in his shopping cart, and I'd see what he's got in there, and I'd go, making a turkey sandwich, and he'd go, yeah, I am. And I'd go, you notice a jar of Dijonnaise in there? Yeah. You think that's good on a turkey sandwich? Yeah. You want to just take some regular mayonnaise and maybe a little, deli-style mustard? No, I like Dijonnaise. Really. It's pretty much just corn syrup,
Oh, highfalutin ass mustard.
And I notice you got sourdough in there. Yeah. You don't want to go with like a roll or something? No.
I'm beginning.
I don't know if I can give you this turkey.
I'm beginning to hate this guy.
I don't think I'm not going to give you the turkey until you go get some regular mayonnaise and some deli style mustard. And by the way, get rid of those fucking little mini tomatoes. Go get a beefsteak. All right, I will give you your sliced turkey, and I'm also going to add provolone. Well, you may be lactose intolerant, but if you want a proper turkey sandwich, just have some provolone on there. Go put back the Dijonnaise, put back the little jewel tomatoes, and get a beefsteak tomato, and then come back and also get some olive oil and some vinegar. I want vinegar. We're going to do a dressing, too, okay? You go get that, and then I'll give you your deli meat.
I'm also going to need some sliced pepperoni while you're back there.
I'm sorry, I don't do pepperoni. That's it. I have a waiver. I've signed with the contract. I signed a contract. I don't do pepperoni. I do sausage and onion. So when you come back and you can prove, as a matter of fact, I don't trust you. Go pay for. Put this stuff back. Go pay for it. Then show me the receipt. Then I will give you the sliced turkey and provolone, and then you can bring that up and pay for it.
Man, you made me hate this guy. Yeah,
but. That's the butcher. Baker, too early.
Yep.
Candlestick maker.
You're on.
I would excel at it.
I think so.
I would, yeah.
Well, yeah. So they're calling for Whoopi to apologize.
Oh, that's the story.
That's
I don't know. Everything for her is a fucking hate crime. And by the way, they already went through this. I don't remember where it was, but there was some market or maybe a bakery or some place on a college campus. I'm looking at Dawson. It's kind of a Fox story. And remember, it's like 3 or 4 years ago, and some black student came in and stole something, and they like chased him out of the store, and then sent out all this racism shit, and the school boycotted the store. It was there for like 150 years and stuff, and all this stuff.
Oberlin College.
Yeah, they sued and they got $6 million. Because you can't do this stuff. You can't just.
Who sued?
There's a little store in Oberlin College.
Oberlin College. And it's $36 million.
$36 million. It's like a family-owned little store, bakery, whatever. Been there for like 100 years, and they just cried racism on them, even though nothing happened. And then the whole school took over, and the faculty, and they boycotted the place and everything. And then like 2 years later, it was like, they didn't do anything. and now you owe him $36 million. And I'm not litigious, but it's the only way this shit shuts down.
Yeah.
The fucking chick who they tried to force to get vaccinated and she wouldn't. They fired her from her job. She's got $12 million. These guys get $36 million. I don't like it, but we have to slow everyone's fucking roll when it comes to lying. And like Kyle Rittenhouse sued everybody and is getting paid because they called him a white supremacist. Sorry.
That's the only way we get things done is to sue.
Well, it would be nice if people didn't level false allegations against entities or people in the first place. But if they're going to continue to do it, then they need to get sued, and that will prevent them from doing it again. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Whoopi, I don't know. No one's suing her yet.
At this point, in terms of like Whoopi, I'm like, all right, can we make this? You love martial arts, right?
Oh, yeah.
What? Steven Seagal is the subject of ironic entertainment for Americans now, right? Like,
yeah.
Under Siege, I didn't go see ironically. I saw it because this is a good movie. I like an action flick, So Steven Seagal is now entered the realm of Eric Estrada or something, whereas there's actually, we don't watch his films for enjoyment. We make fun of him.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Has Whoopi joined the ranks of Steven Seagal? Where it's like more people make fun of her than actually are entertained.
We need a term
by her.
Wait, like jumping the shark, like jumping the Whoopi, like being the Whoopi. You're whooping right now. I don't know.
Maybe jumping the battleship, jumping the... What was this movie? Deadly Ground? No.
On Deadly Ground?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Under Siege. When Under Siege got on a train, whenever they shift the mode of transportation. So Speed was on a bus, and then they moved it onto a cruise ship.
Yes.
And then Under Siege was on a battleship, and then they moved it to a train. When they move their type of transportation, it's never good.
No.
It never works out.
No.
All right.
And now Whoopi is, moved on to bakeries.
Yeah. All right, one more.
Mike Tyson's bombshell AIDS revelation. No way I should be here, he says. Yeah, Mike Tyson says he should never been alive. Apparently, this whole story boils down to he had sex with the girl, and the girl had AIDS. And then him and his friend both had sex with the same girl, and they both died of AIDS.
The friend and the girl.
Yes. So, yeah.
I think it was hard for guys to get the AIDS from girls.
Yeah.
Though.
It
Real low
come
percentage.
Back this direction, yeah. Unless you have a cut on your...
So I'll bet you the friend who died of AIDS didn't get the AIDS from that girl. He was probably intravenous drug user or something.
Yes.
Or gay sex or whatever it is. It says 1 in 1,000 chance of getting HIV from vaginal sex.
Yeah.
With someone.
It's really rare. So,
right.
Yeah,
so I'll bet he got it somewhere else.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It seems like that when you're hanging out around
Tyson, he said he wasn't supposed to be here.
Yeah. He definitely
somewhere around round 5. I was thinking that too.
I know.
Like, really? Does he need to? Do I need to be here?
Yeah,
I don't need to be here.
I know.
One of us doesn't need to be here.
Very strange.
Yeah, I gotta go make some candlesticks. So let's wrap this shit up, man.
Hey, the last story that I have is kind of interesting. Disney removes a cartoon episode about a transgender character. It breaks my heart, they say. The Disney animated show Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur focused on a transgender character. They shelved the episode.
Yeah. Well, look, okay. Let's just break it down.
Well, hear me out on this.
I'm hearing you out.
The episode was called The Gatekeeper, and it was about the captain of the girls' volleyball team who was born a male, and then they're locked into a closet.
We have a clip, by the way, I think. Should we take a look at it? That's what I hear. This is beautiful.
Orange slices bring me back to my soccer days.
Yeah, we've come a long way since 5th grade.
They were the only light in the darkness of me having to play on the boys' team.
Boys team?
Boys team. Boys team. Boys team.
What's going on here? This for kids?
Coach Trebek,
Yes.
a word, please. Okay, I'm going to tell you something, and it might shock you. Your team captain used to play on a boys' team. Boys' team. Coach, is something wrong with your eyes?
No, I'm just trying to communicate that what you're saying isn't news and also that I don't care.
Hold on.
That's not fair.
Pause. Mayhem.
I know, bud.
You should be doing VO work, bro. let's let Mayhem do that last coach's line.
Wait, I missed the line. What was it?
He goes, no, he's telling me she doesn't care. But let's just hear it.
Coach, is something wrong with your eyes?
No, I'm just trying to communicate that what you're saying isn't news and also that I don't care.
All right.
What I'm trying to communicate that it isn't news and I don't care.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty solid.
I'd watch that show. You got a VO agent, don't you, Dawson?
Oh, I do. We'll hook
Good
up
Mayhem.
Mayhem right
Hook
away.
up. Yeah.
Immediately.
God bless
He's not
you.
going to take any food off of your plate. You guys are not going on the same auditions. Okay. All right, play it out. Sorry.
That's not fair. This is a girls' volleyball league. Only girls can play.
Brooklyn is a girl, and she's gonna play.
You don't want to break the rules around me, Herbeck.
The rules say she can play. Go Squirrels! Go Squirrels!
You got this, Coach. Oh, I'm so sorry about your coach. Shame you'll need to forfeit.
Forfeit. Not a chance.
Well, according to clause
So that's a
3.5 in the
trans
regional
character?
volleyball constitution,
Yeah.
you need a designated coach.
Got it covered! Officially designated.
Thanks, Lou, but you don't need to take this on. Player coach reporting for duty.
It's weird. They have to
Those
do
are
kind of
regulation knee pads.
do kind
Actually
of
got them from the league. for
in
the Pride
between
Month.
voice.
What's in this?
Water. We good?
Wonderful. Lady Leopards, warm-up time! Girl power!
They got to go. They got to draw some titties, but not too many,
Right?
or too much.
Like-
Or how's it work?
Gynomastia.
Yeah. All right. So here's the deal, everyone. Commerce. It's all commerce.
Yeah.
Everything is money. All money, all the time. And Disney, like every other business, thought there was commerce for going down this road. Disney doesn't give a fuck, just like Coke doesn't give a fuck, just like Taco Bell doesn't give a fuck with all the Pride Month or whatever. You know, whenever Subaru's talking about making their cars with love, or the lesbian couple in the Subaru commercial, or whatever, the mixed marriage, or whatever the fuck it is, no one gives a fuck about anything. They're massive conglomerations. They want commerce. They want money. And a few years ago, because I experienced it, they would say, do not get caught on this side of this subject or that subject because it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your bottom line. Trump just had a huge victory. The Republicans got the House and the Senate. He gets the popular vote and the Electoral College, and Gutfeld is the number one late night show. So now all the people who used to pretend to care about something else.
Yeah.
Commerce. They want money. And now Disney's getting fucked up. And so they want money. So the stuff they never cared about, they're pretending to care about in the other direction now.
Yeah.
So they don't give a fuck. Also, there is a thing where everybody who ends up in the arts is a progressive douchebag. There's a handful of guys that aren't, but everyone who gets attracted to the arts and creating and all that.
The theater kid syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like almost every movie reviewer is woke and progressive. So, you know, you will be reviewed accordingly. So they're going to want to start doing what they do because that's who they are, the theater majors. But now the world is sort of waking up to the fact that maybe going down the woke road isn't great in terms of commerce. And so they're all going to shift now.
Yeah. I think the episode is kind of like, I don't know, tone deaf a little bit to America. And it was made during that fever pitch of everybody's like fighting back against.
Well, here's my thing. There's two arguments. The one is the right says we don't want biological men competing with women, and then
that's the big thing is that if this episode wasn't about that, it might have been able to be released.
But then the left goes, it's minuscule. It barely happened.
Yeah, but all right. If your kid is playing on the opposite team, you get stressed out.
It's the same argument where they go, this illegal migrant killed this chick who was jogging, and then they go, more Americans kill Americans. I go, yeah, I know, but tell to the parents of the chick that was jogging.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's all. It's the same thing. It's like we'd like it to be at zero.
Yeah.
But exactly, yes, no, it's not. It's not a problem that is overwhelming society. But
it sucks when it happens to you.
One illegal migrant killer is one too many, and one getting a volleyball spiked off their forehead by a chick that used to be a dude 10 minutes ago, that's one too many. Yeah, that's the argument. Yeah, but also, big picture.
I know.
Kids don't need to know about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, let them. Here's the deal. You have kids. I got kids. So he shouldn't have to get it. I don't really need it. I know many who don't need it, but I have elderly parents who should get it. And it was a pretty simple equation for me. Like within my own immediate family, I had a son and a daughter, 14, fit, thin, and healthy. And I said, I do not want them to get vaccinated because... And I think people do well, how could it hurt? Well, listen, I wouldn't want them to get a vaccination or get any procedure for anything that was unnecessary.
Yeah.
So, no, unnecessary for those two. Elderly parents, yes, probably a better reason they should get it, the vaccination, than the kids. And then I moved forward, and that was about it. And then you became an anti-vaxxer and you were called a heretic and you're killing grandma or some version of that. And people got very animated by it. And now it turns out that there's studies.
Right.
And lo and behold, as everyone's sitting down, turns out that may be bad for you. And all I said was very early on, I said, people are going to wish they didn't get this vaccination. Now, my parents are dead. So I don't know if they wish they got it or wish they didn't, but when, my mom died 18 months into COVID, not of COVID, just she died of old age, about 18 months in. And my dad died probably 3 or 4 years into COVID or after COVID, not by COVID. But when you're collectively 88 and 91, then go ahead and roll the dice on a vaccine that may or may not work. But when you're 14, now that may stick with you for a while. So that's how I came down. And you guys, we need to find too? That cow, Sotomayor, Supreme Court Justice. Remember she was up there making an argument that everyone needed to be vaccinated because there were kids on ventilators. Like, first off, can we circle back and rub some of this shit in these assholes' faces?
It's not working. I mean, you saw Birx just come out and say, actually, we should have followed the science and kids didn't need this. Did you not see this? It's like Dave Smith was furious. He came out and he's like, somebody needs to pay for this shit.
Yeah.
And
I was talking to Mike August about it, and it's like, who's Dave Smith? But but I get it. He was a Legion of Skank.
Nobody. Some local guy in Salt Lake, I think.
No, these people lied to our faces trying to get our kids an experimental vaccine. And nobody's accountable. Here's Sotomayor, by the way, when they went to the Supreme Court, and thank God, and by the way, to you assholes that are always like, the Supreme Court is weaponized. Well, thank God the Supreme Court leans right, or we'd all be vaccinated, or we couldn't have gone back to our work. According to the left side of the Supreme Court, that's what they wanted. But here's Sotomayor, I guess.
We have over 100,000 children which we've never had before, in serious condition, and many on ventilators.
Yeah, listen, dumb cow. None of that's true.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
None of it.
So it's like she's breaking ground. Yes, she's the dumbest Hispanic ever to be on the Supreme Court. Yes, she's a groundbreaker. She's a fucking idiot, and she's dangerous. She wanted every one of your kids to be forced vaxxed. You understand? And so
weren't they though? I mean, I had to vaccinate my kids for them to go to school.
You idiots. Listen, couple things. You forced kids to do something that was unhealthy for their body, and then you also fucked their mind up by locking them out of school for a year and a half. But other than that, you love the kids. Okay. Here's all I'm saying. Maybe when the next whatever comes down the pike, maybe you sit the next one out. Maybe you don't weigh in. Maybe you don't get your crystal ball out and tell us what's going to happen on the next one. Or maybe don't argue with me when I tell you what's happening.
Okay, there's two elements to this. One is Birx, the evangelical doctor, who, by the way, Drew taught me so much about her on a podcast. They knew. She just admitted, I believe it was on Piers Morgan, that they knew kids did not need this vaccine and said, I wished we'd followed the science, something to that effect. So there are individuals that, in fact, did know kids did not need this. Now, there are a separate group of individuals, I'm assuming, like Sotomayor, who thought that they knew and bought the rhetoric without doing any homework. And went forward, shamed everybody, and said, you've got to do this because Fauci says so, or whoever Birx says so they must be right. I see this all the time with a million different things, though. Very educated, intelligent people that form complete opinions and know absolutely nothing about which they speak. All the time.
Yeah, well, especially in your industry. I mean, diet-wise, you have kooks coming out of woodwork. But yes, no, I completely agree. You know nothing.
The time.
Just humble yourself and shut the fuck up. And
all
also, use a little kind of horse sense. You know, like I just looked around my neighborhood. We had tons and tons of kids. No one was ever sick. No one perished. No one was on a ventilator. So I was like, I've looked around. I've done my own survey.
Well, their argument was they'll give it to the grandma. It's like, well, how though? If it's a vaccine, didn't you say it would prevent transmission? I mean, we've all seen that clip of Rachel Maddow. It stops with you.
Oh, we saw it with
crazy.
Rochelle Walensky lying. Okay, they all lied about it. Fine. Now it's injurious for some people. Thank you very much. I don't know, find a mirror and stare into it, you fucking retards. But I hearken back to this clip, and I don't know if there's a date on this clip, but it's a couple of women. I just stumbled into MSNBC.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, God. Why would you do such a horrible thing?
Well, I'll tell you why.
Stumble. Ooh.
No. You can find out a lot about what's going on by like watching how people you disagree with articulate their disagreements, you know? And on a rare occasion, you'll go, oh, okay, yeah, I never thought of it that way. But mostly it's just
to steel man yourself.
Yes. And this was probably 2022, maybe 2021. This is when they started making the push to try to get everyone vaccinated all the time. And they ran this segment on MSNBC, which was a nonsensical segment. It was two black women. One of them was a doctor. And she had long, flowing hair, kind of Angelina Jolie-esque hair. And the other had a natural sort of Florida from Good Times kind of fro, you know? And the whole story of the whole segment was how dangerous hair relaxer was to women of color. And the doctor who's explaining that it was very dangerous for women of color to use this hair relaxer because it had all these chemicals in it, had the hair going down to her lap.
Oh, my God.
And then the other one, who was tell me more doctor, had natural and did not use the hair relaxer.
Got it.
So we're already off to a dubious start.
Yeah.
For me. Read the headline and tell me what you see, Jillian Michaels.
Parabens have a greater impact on black women's risk of breast cancer than white women.
And the woman who's the doctor expert with the stethoscope around her chin looks like who? Or has hair of what?
Very relaxed hair.
Yeah.
And the one who's like, tell me more about these dangers is full fro, right?
This is true. This is true.
This isn't bizarre. I mean, it'd be like talking about lung cancer and the doctor was smoking the whole time. But, okay, I got past this.
Okay. You did? Because that would be where I check back out and go, nothing new going on over here.
This is why I was very intrigued.
Gosh, you dug in.
By these two.
I'm still watching.
The segment, which was presented as black women's and parabens and hair relaxer, was actually 2.5 minutes of hair relaxer talk and then 3.5 minutes of why you needed to get your toddler vaccinated. Which I thought, I remember sitting back going, what the fuck is going on here, by the way?
Yeah.
First off, this is served up as hair relaxing conversation and now goes into get your toddler vaccinated. And that wasn't an afterthought at the end of the segment. That was the majority. The lion's share of this segment was discussion about getting your young toddler or infant vaccinated with an experimental vaccination that did them no good from the same doctor who was just telling you to stop using a flat iron on your head. But we'll hear how they get into it.
Wow.
Well, you know what? Do me a favor. Show me the beginning of the original segment, because that's what this was presented as. And if this doesn't say diabolical in bed with Big Pharma, I don't know what is, because they literally started off by just talking about hair for adults, and then they just went right into vaccinating. But here's the top. Okay. Here's how it started.
All right.
Concerning results are being reported from a new study showing that chemicals found in black hair care and cosmetic products have a greater impact on black women's risk of breast cancer. The study found that chemicals called parabens are responsible for the increased risk in black women, but the same results weren't seen in white women. The parabens also promoted the spread of breast cancer cells in the body with a bigger effect in black patients. Joining me now to discuss, MSNBC medical contributor Dr. Ebony Hilton.
And just got done processing her hair.
Completely unfamiliar with before this study, because often if you're like on the Sephora website, it will know.
All right.
Like,
this is the beginning of the segment.
I have so much to say.
But then it goes right into, we'll give you the other segments. I broke into two pieces. Goes right into this, and this is a longer chunk of the section. So I don't think it's presented as this, but it's not this. So we'll listen to this. Okay. And listen how crazy this sounds in 2025.
Okay. I'm going to turn to the topic of COVID. On Tuesday, President Biden announced vaccines are now available for kids under the age of 5. I know a lot of parents out there have been waiting forever for this announcement. What do you want to tell them about vaccinating their children under 5 and how important that is?
Right. For one, I would hope they see that it did take a long time before this was rolled out, because first, safety had to be verified. And that is most important. The second thing I want them to know is oftentimes this was stated early on that kids are protected. But what we know is that 6 times the number of kids died from COVID than the flu this past year. Right. We had 600 children who are no longer with us from 2021 because of COVID-19.
Who had leukemia, bitch.
A method that you can use to help protect your child from being hospitalized and keep them alive to see next year. And there's a saying, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Keep your kids vaccinated, make sure they're wearing those masks, and practice those same mitigating factors that we've been doing now for 2.5 years.
Okay, everything's a lie. Yeah. Masks don't work. Vaxes are bad for your kids. Don't need it. Mitigating factors are, got to wipe down the Amazon box with Clorox before you bring in an house. This bitch is wrong about everything. Everything. Jillian's making faces.
First of all, you already said it. It's by design. It's a big pharma plant. We know for a fact that big pharma pays at least 70% of these networks' advertising budgets. So they effectively buy the narrative. Then you add the Trusted News Initiative. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. So essentially, I had Senator Johnson on my podcast, who 5 years ago I would have thought was the devil. Now I'm like, oh, this guy's like the great white hope. So they came up with the Trusted News Initiative to essentially script out the messaging points for the COVID vaccine. And those are those clips of all the different news anchors saying the exact same thing.
Yes.
Go.
Well, there's more. There's more if you want to keep wincing, but we'll play it out. But also, it has to be premeditated, you know.
For sure.
I'm going to talk to the doctor about relaxing her hair for 5 seconds, and then, as long as we got you, what about COVID? And then she goes into a diatribe about why you need to get your kids under 5 vaccinated. But keep going. She's got some doozies.
Get ready. Keep your kids vaccinated. Make sure they're wearing those masks and practice those same mitigating factors that we've been doing now for 2.5 years. What we do know is that COVID-19 is linked to a number of different disease processes that we can already trace. You know, they say, well, you can't tell the long-term consequences of the vaccine. Well, yes, we can. In acute time, I've got my vaccine back in December 2020, right? I was the first person at the University of Virginia. We've now been able to track persons like me to see what has happened. Has anything changed?
It's been a whole 18
but what
months.
we also know is that we're tracking people who have COVID-19, children and adults alike. And what we know is that 1 in every 5 persons who've been infected with COVID-19 now has lingering disability where their organs, their heart, their lungs, their kidneys, their brain is no longer functioning in the same way.
Pause it. 1 in 5. So 20% of people who got COVID, which is everybody, their organs are compromised. 20%, which would be millions of Americans, and forget about worldwide.
I don't even know how to respond to this. It's just bullshit. It'd be like if you told me the Earth was flat or chemtrails are real.
But all I'm saying is whether it's Sanjay Gupta talking about horse pace or this bitch talking about your organs, can we stop listening to these people?
Haven't we, though, Adam?
I guess. They're compromised. She's compromised.
100%.
She's a fucking stooge. Sanjay Gupta's a stooge. Why are we listening? They should have no careers. It should be over. Shouldn't let them anywhere near your kid.
Most people have stopped listening, though, and they are turning to alternative media without question.
But they want to know what's going on. We're going to alternative media. Why not trust us? Why not trust the journalists? Why not trust these two bitches who've been lying the whole time?
You know, it's definitely generational. My mom still believes CNN. I literally saw a meme, and it said, I went to my mom's house. I used parental controls to shut off her CNN. This is how we save America. And I sent it to my mom, and I was like, I love you. Really try to understand why this is going viral. It's the boomers. She's like, are you trying to tell me that the New York Times is bullshit? I'm like, yeah. Like, it's so hard for them to comprehend. It is like the red pill in the Matrix.
Yeah.
It is just so difficult to believe that this is all by design. And it obviously goes far deeper.
Well, there's more.
Oh, God,
there's even
Adam.
another 55 seconds. The reason it's unthinkable is it's modern times, it's a news network, it's a board-certified physician, and they're having this very sober talk about vaccinations that's all a lie and all wrong.
Have you ever...
They're trying to motivate you to do something you shouldn't do.
Have you ever tried to talk to a doctor like that and ask them what mRNA tech is?
No, they don't.
They don't know.
Yeah.
I recently sat down with Dr. Heather Hang, who's a PhD, and her husband's Brett Weinstein, and they've got a great podcast called Dark Horse.
Love me, Brett Weinstein.
Right.
Sure.
And I go, Heather, just give it to me in layman's terms. What is this? And she goes, it is by no, I'm going to butcher this, but by no previous definition of a vaccine is this a vaccine. So she explained that you have a vaccine that has live pathogen, like little bits. Then you have vaccines that have dead pathogen with adjuvants, like previously mercury, now aluminum. And then she explained that mRNA essentially is a messenger that tells our own cells to produce a part of the virus. In what universe does that sound safe and okay.
Oh, I know. And then,
wait, what?
God forbid, Robert Kennedy Jr. shows up, and they're like, this wackadoodle.
Right.
This wackadoodle or these wackadoodles?
Can I say one more thing now that you bring him up? Did you see in his Senate hearing when the black senator, I believe her name was Brooks, attacked him because he had cited research that was very credible out of Europe.
Greatest.
You saw that, right?
That was the greatest.
And she goes, are you trying to suggest that I should be on a different vaccine schedule because I'm black? And she was trying to imply that he's like a racist that was putting people of color's lives in jeopardy. And the research showed that black people have a more robust, it's very credible research, by the way. I reposted the research, but that black people have a more robust immune system. And since we don't know what causes vaccine injuries, should we look into with gold standard research whether or not they need less adjuvants or less of the pathogen? Here you have them saying, two black women saying black women are more susceptible to parabens, and they're looking out for black women. But when he does it, the implication that he's a kooky racist.
It's
wild.
It's so paper thin just to play the race card everywhere. And yeah, I think we can pull that clip because I remember where I was. I was in Boca Raton, Florida, and I called Dr. Drew and I was like, can you believe these nut jobs? Also, we're getting back to a sort of process person. Like, he is saying that your people, your race has a more robust immune system, so you probably shouldn't take something that may be harmful. So the answer to that would be, thank you, Dr. Kennedy, not fuck you, racist.
I know.
But they can't stop it. You can't single out anything.
He didn't make any of it up, though. It's not an opinion. He's citing incredible studies.
She's great. She's everything that's wrong with modern politics. She doesn't know what she's doing, and then people assume it's a DEI thing. Like, would she really be there? Is it the first woman of color? Like, we getting into this again?
Yeah.
She's a dope. She looks like Sotomayor. Let me just explain something. Mazie Hirono, Sotomayor, that chick, this doctor, Karen Bass, you guys are not doing the movement any favors by putting dumb cows as your front people. You're not helping the cause. You would help the cause. We got really articulate, smart people who are sharp in those positions, but you getting Kamala Harris in that position is not helping your cause. It's hurting your cause.
Isn't that wild?
Because now young kids are going to go, I don't think black women are capable of thinking. And I'll go, son, it's not black. It's just these ones aren't good. Yeah, don't push them forward. All right, we'll play the rest of this just so you can have a seizure.
Now has a lingering disability where their organs, their heart, their lungs, their kidneys, their brain is no longer functioning in the same way that it was before they got infected with COVID-19. And when you take that developing child whose organs have not come to what it's going to be for the rest of their life, and you stress it out, and you put it on that treadmill and say, I want you to sprint. What does that do for the longevity of their life, not only in the quantity of their life and whether or not they will live a full life as we hope to live, but the quality of their life? We don't want to see that. We don't know what that's going to be for COVID-19, and we don't have to risk it because we have a vaccine.
Can you imagine?
It's so important. This information, I'm like almost applauding.
We created this shit in a lab.
This is a pure propaganda commercial.
It's particularly unknown to us now. There's definitely...
It's a pure propaganda pitch for their sponsors.
Is madness. It's madness watching
now,
it now.
Jillian, do you see why you have to watch what the other side is up to?
But you know what, Adam? I've seen it. I have seen the clip reels of Maddow lying. But I don't think she's lying. I think she's buying it.
Yes.
The ones who were lying, Fauci, Morenz, Birx, they knew.
They lied. Yeah.
They lied.
Yes.
Bill Gates, he knew. He
Rochelle
lied.
Walensky, CDC lied.
I mean,
too.
they pushed this through the emergency use, a little loophole, so they didn't have to do the necessary safety testing. And that's why they shut down any conversation about therapeutics, because if something like ivermectin worked, you couldn't push through emergency use for these vaccines. And there are obviously billions of dollars
Yep.
in perpetuity.
I knew this would fire you up.
It is an embarrassment of riches. It's the gift that never stops giving. 18 shots from 6 months to 18, a COVID shot every year.
Oh, but I had Merck in my portfolio, so I won.
Right?
I did learn something during your diatribe.
Go.
You can play. We'll play Senator Elsa Brooks, I guess her name is.
Sorry. That's it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is her sounding like an idiot and him saying, well, you do want to follow the science, right? And she's going, no, I'd rather be offended and be a race victim here. But it's a great exchange. But it is a sort of time capsule. This is what, if people 100 years from now go, what was 2025 like? I'd say, watch this clip.
Right.
That's where we were living. Bunch of dumb cows asking stupid questions of people that were smart and then crying race all the time. So what we do is we elect women of color and we put them in these positions. And then when you disagree with them, they cry race, which is a horrible thing to do as a society. But while you're looking for that, I noticed something.
Ooh.
There was the great Gilda Radner used to do a character called Emily Patella, I think it was. Emily Patella.
I think I recall this.
Gilda Radner. You need to find a little of that because she sounds a lot like Jillian Michaels' mom. And we're going to... Emily Latella, not Patella.
Oh, God.
Emily Latella. Find a clip of that, and we're going to match her up against your mom.
My mom is a brilliant woman, but she is a boomer. And they just are not capable of watching the world as they know it melt in front of their faces.
We'll play the clip of Senator Elsa Brooks. Sorry.
You said the following, and I quote, "We should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours." Can you please explain what you meant?
There's a series of studies, I think most of them by Poland, that show that to particular antigens that blacks have a much stronger reaction. There's differences in reaction to different products by different races.
So I have 17 seconds left. Let me just ask you then. So what different vaccine schedule would you say I should have received?
Narcissist.
That bitch.
What different vaccine schedule
Look at her face.
should I have received?
I mean, the Pollen article suggests that blacks need fewer antigens than...
This is so dangerous.
I've
read it. Posted the
with all
studies.
due respect, that is so dangerous. Your voice would be a voice that parents would listen to. That is so dangerous. I will be voting against your nomination because your views are dangerous to our state and to our country.
Are you going to freak out or am I going to freak out?
Call him a racist.
You believe that? Is that wild?
Put it in a time capsule. Explain to people 100 years from now what the fuck we're doing.
But of course, if a black person says that black people are more susceptible to parabens, then it's like probably the man put parabens in the product to hurt black people on MSNBC land. But we have no idea, by the way, what causes vaccine injuries.
Right.
And the reality is that they are rare, hopefully. COVID is a different animal entirely. But nevertheless, they occur. That's why in 1986, the drug companies went to the Reagan administration and said, listen, we're not going to play around in this pool unless you give us blanket immunity. It's like, well, can't you make it safer? The vaccine injuries are inevitable, and we currently don't know what causes them or why one human is more prone to them than another. Now, as a layman, one would argue, right, they're meant to stimulate an immune response. So if a black person has a more robust and healthy immune system and you're giving them too much of a pathogen or an adjuvant, which would be like the mercury, previously mercury, now aluminum, and so on, that they might potentially have a more robust immune response. Like, remember the cytokine storm during COVID? That was your own immune system going bananas. Is it possible that this could cause vaccine injuries? Study it. What is the harm in studying it?
There's stuff that Ashkenazi Jews have that others don't have.
100%.
And then there's sickle cell, which we don't have. So there's differences. So well, let's follow the science, bitch. By the way, if somebody accused me of having a robust immune system, a great vertical, and a huge dick, I'd be like, thank you. Thanks, brother. Moving on. Could you put that in writing? Thank you. I would not cry racism. All right. Well, Emily Litella. Let's see if your mom could pick up a little of this.
Okay, let me see.
I bet you could do this.
Let's see what we got.
I think you're doing Emily. I think your mom. I think when you do your mom, you channel little Emily.
Here's the difference. There would not be a never mind. My mom would be like, but I'm telling you about the violins, honey. You gotta keep them on TV. But we're not. But the violin thing, she still thinks that Rogan believes in dragons. I'm like, no. She saw it on The View. She's like, that guy you guys love, because my son and I will always listen to Rogan in the morning on the way to school. And she's like, doesn't he believe in dragons? I'm like, I finally was like, yeah.
Yeah, he rides one. That's how he gets to work.
Like, it's crazy. They think if it is on a form of legacy media that previously was very esteemed, there's no concept whatsoever that it could be completely captured and corrupted. It's too hard.
Yeah.
To unwind.
Well, also, you've invested like so many years in this thing. And, it's kind of, here's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
People kind of say, or you go like, oh, you lost a lot of money on this stock or this home or this apartment complex or something. And they go, you only lose the money when you sell. As long as you don't sell. I mean, you could have bought stock for $100 and it's now down to 1 nickel. But if you don't sell,
it's not a recognized
you really
loss,
didn't recognize the loss,
right.
And your mom doesn't want to sell. And as long as you don't sell, you don't recognize the loss, even though we all know that was a blue chip stock and now it's a penny stock. But you're not selling because you're hanging on to some belief. But you never really have to take the loss until you sell. Could be anything. Could be real estate. But the loss is really technically when you sell. And she's not selling.
No, she is not selling. And you can send her information, like you could show her that clip and she'll still tell me, well, the vaccine works. I'm like, where are you getting this from? And she'll find an article from 2021.
But I think, pardon me, but I think at the end of the day, it's a kind of a narcissism. Like, are we not willing to entertain the notion that you may have been wrong about some stuff? Because that's kind of what all we're saying is let's entertain the thought that you got duped and you picked the wrong horse and that you were wrong about things.
With her, it's not that. It's just that I truly believe it is too terrifying for her to really understand what's going on. Like, when you look at, like, she sent me this one article about the efficacy of the vaccine, and it mentioned the Virality Project. Are you familiar with this?
No.
Okay. So Bill Gates funded through Stanford something called the Virality Project, which was designed to seek out vaccine hesitancy on the web. That is the brief that went to the Biden administration and directed who, what, and how to censor people online. I had a woman named Brianne Dresden who wrote a book called Worth a Shot, who was injured during the AstraZeneca trial, educate me about this entire thing. She's suing the Biden administration over it. Bill Gates obviously has gazillions invested in the tech and the drug companies. So my mom sees that Bill Gates has funded this, and to her, the article makes him out like he's an angel trying to protect people. And look at this, look what they've done. He even put together this project to source out like vaccine hesitancy to save lives on his own dime. I'm like, Mom. Like, there's no universe where she can see that this guy is part of the axis of evil, that this was by design, that he's heavily invested in this, that this is all gain of function research. It's too scary. I'm serious. I really think for her to know that the entire system is rigged, and then when you see him trying to censor people and to go after the First Amendment, if you really believe that your government is trying to do that, I think it's deeply, deeply disturbing. And for her, it's like, no, it's got to be for our own good because it's mentally too much to handle. For the other people, I do agree. For the majority, it's like, I'm doubling the fuck down. I want men in sports. I want sex changes for 5-year-olds. I mean, the Democrats are fucking bananas. You saw that clip with, I'm sorry, I dropped that bomb again. The clip with,
we like it.
Oh my God, Trump and the governor of Maine.
Yeah.
Who's like, no, I'm going to fight you and I'm going to see you in court, and boys or whatever she wants, trans girls will play in sports. And Trump is like, you lost.
Right.
Nobody wants it, you fool.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you there is a thing, because I had a real progressive hippie mom. First, right under the veneer of peace and love is rage, number one. Number two, you cannot defy them. It's just a battle. Just everything's about. They just dig in. It's just a battle. Right. They take everything to the grave. You'll never hear words like, you know what, I got to rethink this one, or maybe you're right, or I feel differently than I guess everyone else does, because I don't feel like they don't do any of that. All there is outward rage. There's never reflection. All right. We got some news, by the way, which Jillian will be equally as animated about.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. All right, let's jump right in. In a dramatic shakeup for Los Angeles, Mayor Karen Bass has dismissed Fire Chief Kristen Crowley, citing her inadequate handling of last month's catastrophic wildfires, among the most destructive in California's history.
I love it when they turn on each other.
Yeah.
That's great.
If Crowley chooses to appeal her filing, she'll need 10 of the city council's 15 members to vote with her to succeed.
Well, it's weird, because I went to a thing at the Kings games, like the salute to the heroes, and it's like, look, hanging back and watching your entire state burn to the ground, it's awesome, but I don't know, hero is more guys rushing into the building at 9/11, not guys who never prepared for a building that was going to collapse for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is, hello, everyone. You guys didn't do any of the countermeasures that would have prevented this. And then we had a shit show.
That's the big thing. Bass called out Crowley for sending home 1,000 firefighters the day the fires broke out. And Crowley's alleged refusal to do an after-action report.
What I don't get is, all I heard for 2 days or 3 days coming in is we're going to have big winds, and big winds means big fire.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting in my SUV going, all right, well, I hope they must have got the message, because I'm getting the message every 20 minutes on the radio.
Right, exactly. Set up a command. Again, I'm sorry, I don't want to take credit for other people's words, so I'm going to say, I don't know if you've seen Mike Schellenberger talk about this, but he's like, they knew on January 2nd, that we were going to have these crazy winds. Bass leaves, I believe, on January 4th. He goes on to talk about the fact that at that point, Newsom should have already reached out to other states, Mexico, Canada. Can we borrow your firefighters? He should have pre-positioned people. He should have made sure all the ducks were in a row. There should have been a protocol to evacuate people. None of that was done. None of it.
Yeah.
And that's just step one in the long list of screw-ups.
Yeah, but let's get, psychological about it for a second. I have just realized, and any one of us will know how this works when you have a relationship. There's things that are nuts and bolts and boring with just you and your partner. Like you go, oh, we should get one of those automatic shutoffs for the gas in case there's an earthquake that shuts. And they go, I don't know, you do it. I don't know. Like it's not sexy. It's not interesting. And by the way, they're not going to a cocktail party and going, guess who just got an automatic shutoff for the gas line in case there's an earthquake? Like nobody cares. And it makes sense in that we'll reverse engineer it. I love all the nuts in the bolts. You know what I mean? I love the preparation stuff. I used to do earthquake rehab work. I understand how to rehab a building for earthquakes. And I know how stuff works. And I find this stuff interesting. Now, what I find not interesting at all is that, everyone is free to love in California, and we all need to sit at the table. No one's illegal. No child should ever go to bed hungry. I go, yeah, okay, fuck off. I don't have that doesn't mean anything. But I do want to get in and rejet the carburetors in a race car or something like that. I like the nuts in the bolts. Like, I like that stuff. These people, Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom and many other like-minded folks around the country that are in positions of power, have expressed zero interest in the nuts and the bolts. They're not. I've heard them talking about gay rights and LGBT community and children and LGBT community and, all their euphemistic access to this and that and all their seat at the table and stuff. I've not heard anything about water or volume or aqueducts or whatever. And I'm not, it's not even a knock on them. They're not interested. That's not what they're interested in. What they want is to sit and talk about feelings and about inclusion and equity and all this stuff, which is fine. But don't expect them to be Johnny on the spot when the shit goes down, because they're not. Because they're not interested in it. She wanted to go to Ghana to do a photo. Now, look, if someone said to me, let's, again, reverse engineer.
Okay.
Mayor Adam. Yeah. I want you to go to Ghana. For what? Put on a ceremonial headdress and we're going to take pictures of you pretending to dance with folks from Ghana. I'd go, that sounds fucking miserable. And they go, yeah, but we'll get some pictures. I don't want you to take pictures. What am I going to do? You're going to go there. You're going to meet the mayor of Ghana. They're going to present you with a ceremonial headdress. Right. Then you put it on. Then we shoot B-roll of you.